Welcome everyone. In first part of this episode, as we started tackling creation and usefulness of money, we've understood the following. In a world where quantity of wealth produced increases, if the quantity of money remains the same, then the prices fall. And when the prices fall, that's called a deflation. If we don't want the prices to fall, then we must create additional quantity of money, increase the money supply, up to a level matching the surplus of production or wealth, and in this case, the system is neutral. No inflation or deflation. We've already met anagram and barricade in the first part of this episode. And now to tackle the inflation and how prices go up, I will introduce a new character to our story, the king. Meet Bulios. One day, Bulios arrives to the island. He notices that Anna and Barry work well and produce more than they need. However, he considers that they are not very well organized and addresses to them the following speech.
Hello. It's nice here. But we will do better.
We?
Who exactly are you talking to? Because everything is going very well here.
I don't think so. No, you really need someone to protect you from strangers. And by the way, who guarantees each of you that the other doesn't cheat on your accounts? You need someone to control your currency and guarantee its value. Also, if there's a disagreement between you two, you need to have someone to judge the problem impartially. So, from now on, I'm the king and I'll take care of it all, you lucky fellas. Questions?
Oh no, sir. You must have been misinformed. Everything is fine here. We need nothing.
I see. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. We're gonna do it as I said anyway. Complaints? But kicking and bone smashing. I guess now, we all agree.
From that moment, Bulios has become king and his job will be the three governing and sovereign functions, security, money, and justice. And from that day, everything goes back to how it was before. Anna makes harpoons and shelters while Barry supplies open coconuts and seagulls. As for Bulios, he controls the money, renders justice, and he is ready to break some collarbones in case of conflict. As king, first decision of Bulios is to levy a tax, so that Anna and Barry can remunerate his precious services. Remember, we've said in the first part of this episode that there were 200 shells circulating in the economy of our island. Each year, Bulios will therefore collect 35 tax shells from Anna and 35 tax shells from Barry. Thus, everyone has the same thing. Or, almost. Bulios will get 70 shells while Anna and Barry will have 65 shells each. But let's admit that it's fine for them. Promptly after, Bulios decides that, as king, to guarantee the value of a shell, he will engrave those shells with his head on it and that it will be called a bullieuro. The bullieros will replace the shells. So, there's no longer any doubt about the value of the money in circulation, since it's guaranteed by Bulios. And if someone were to make a counterfeit, then it will be up to Bulios to remind him about the butt kicking and bones cracking rule.
Hey, this story is horrible. It turns into a nightmare in real life. Everyone knows that a government is good for something, it's not that caricatural all the same.
Of course, I'm simplifying and exaggerating for pedagogy purpose. But also because I enjoy adding a hint of theatricality and dramaturgy in my stories. But, there's a point. You should be wondering why governments don't always seem to fight the inflation. That's what we'll understand here. Bear with me for a while. And the answer's yes. Governments do have a definite and factual interest to have some inflation. That's what we'll understand here. Bear with me. For a few years, everything's going well and Anna and Barry have learned leaving with Bulios around. Then an idea comes up in the enlightened mind of Bulios. Given that all bullieros pass through his hands, and that he's the only one having the right to produce them, he tells himself that if he manufactures 1 or 2 more bullieros for him from time to time, no one would see it. And anyway, if someone does notice, that someone would have to come and explain his or her point of view to Bulios. So, each year, he produces 1 or 2 extra bully euros, that he keeps for himself, or spends. However, since, over time, there are more and more bully euros in circulation, for the same quantity of things produced, Anna and Barry decide to increase their prices little by little, to prevent Bulios from being able to buy all their goods. And in return Bulios raises the taxes, because the cost of living has gone up. Moral of the story, Bulios monopolizes wealth by increasing his purchasing power compared to Anna and Barry. So yes, Anna and Barry do increase their prices. However, that's only in a second phase. That's why it's indeed a theft from Bulios. In the end the money gradually loses its value, as the same quantity of bully euros buys less and less things. This inflationary mechanism is called money printing. More academically, the inflation induced by an excess of money supply. When this logic's pushed to the end, prices increase more and more quickly until confidence is definitively destroyed. At such stage, everyone's looking for a substitute, like barter or gold. In fact, inflation has other causes linked to the functioning of the economy, and we can mention them quickly. 1. Inflation induced by the demand. When there's not enough of something for everyone, sellers raise their prices to take advantage. That's the basic law of offer and demand in economics. 2. The imported inflation. That's about the repercussion of the prices of the raw materials on the selling price. For instance, if the oil price increases, everything increases. 3. The inflation induced by costs. Basically same principle as the imported inflation, though it's internally this time. For instance, in cases where wages increase, the selling prices will also increase. 4. Inflation mechanism of market control, such as agreements between competitors in the same sector or by prices administered by the state. In conclusion, as much as the 4 types of inflation that we've just seen last are linked to economic life, as much as using the money printers directly translates the desire of a government for enrichment, without offering compensation. It's indeed a sort of scam or theft, taking the form of destruction of the value of the money. In the next video, we'll see why some governments recourse to the money printing race in an attempt to reduce the burden of their debts. If you liked the video, subscribe and share it to help developing this channel.